his line and outside of the 6-yard box to collect. They lost Ibai Gomez to Athletic Club, as I was saying. Ruben Sobrino's gone to Valencia. They're two huge misses for the Basque side.
Yeah, you're talking in the case of Ruben, the best goal scorer of the season for them. In the case of Ibai, an absolutely crucial veteran, if you like, but who fitted so well in the way that Alaves played down the wings, crosses. None of that will be there. The priority for Alaves is one, obviously to stay in the first division, two, to actually build a new stadium, so they need to sell players.
Gareth Bale doing well to hold in that cross-field pass from Reguilon. This is Casemiro returning it to the Welshman. Whips the cross in with the outside of the foot, and it's put over the top by Dani Ceballos. Decent ball in from Gareth Bale there.
In fact, what you're seeing already is a lot of work being done with the ball in wide areas. Bale is the way to open him up as well.
Modric to put the first corner of the game in. It's headed clear by Jonathan Caleri. That chance for Ceballos coming from a missed clearance by Mani Pan, who was able to respond and block Ceballos' shot. Modric whips a low cross in, dealt with by LaGuardia, puts it out for another corner. It's a lively start indeed from Real Madrid, who looked, as you said before the game, Guillaume, to be taking this one very seriously indeed.
So positive start, and how many times we said, oh, this Real Madrid started not so well. Not anymore.
Well, it's bobbling around in the area. Ramos knocks it back. Double opportunity from Ceballos. The first one with the right foot, the second with the left foot as it rebounded back to him. Big smile in his face. But that's worrying, I think, the lack of conviction from the Alaves defence. And Dani Ceballos has enjoyed 3 attempts on goal in the opening 4 minutes.
I know this is on the back of a corner, and of course Alaves were defending in their own box, but they have been far too deep. They need to keep the ball, as we know, to be able to grow in confidence in the game. But this Real Madrid is very switched on.
Thomas Pina with the steal, trying to set Caleri through. Caleri taking it off Nacho's toes, but bringing the ball out for a throw-in. Bruno, the home fans responding positively to such an aggressive start from Real Madrid.
Absolutely, that's just what this stadium needed for the game to start. As it's a bit of a cold night at the Bernabeu, 8:45 kickoff. It's getting cold in the Spanish capital now, but the players have responded. Those early chances have got them going, and they're hoping for a little bit more of that from Real Madrid in the following minutes.
Good work from Burgi there to link with Pina. In the end, it was Mani Pan who played it wide. The cross put into the box. No blue and white shirts there. Easily dealt with by Ramos Odriozola. Finding Gareth Bale. He plays it back to Casemiro. Nacho striding forward. Dani Ceballos. Reguilon returning it to Ceballos, who finds Benzema dropping wide onto the left. He's got Vinicius in front of him. Plays it into the middle to Casemiro. Back to Ceballos. Nacho. Square to the captain, Sergio Ramos, who gets it back from Modric. It's patient and painstaking from Madrid. Ceballos wide to Reguilon, who's progressed up this left flank.
He couldn't put a cross in because there was nobody in the box. And that's a little bit the problem of the problem. Not Real Madrid right now don't have many problems, but with Benzema dropping deep and linking up, and now with so many midfielders of Alaves, he will have to do that. The problem is then when Reguilon goes forward, when Odriozola goes forward, they cannot put a ball straight into the box. There is nobody there. This Real Madrid, as good as it's looking at the moment, just feels that it will be a little bit better with a number 9.
Poor ball from Burgi straight to Benzema. He quickly finds Ceballos, who saw the run of Odriozola, but just mistimed the pass. It's collected now by Manu Garcia. He links with Wakaso. Wakaso, a good ball down the left. Chase for Johnny, but the flag goes and Johnny turns in desperation and looks at Wakaso, questioning the timing of the pass. As you can see, they're just slipping offside. Johnny, great to see Johnny back. They've really missed him through injury. And having sold, as we mentioned a few moments ago, Ibai Gomez, playing without either of their wide players, wide creative attacking players, Alaves have lost the last 2 La Liga games.
For those of you that don't watch Alaves, it's good to know that this is a team that takes the least amount of passes to score a goal, that they're second in possession. They just basically don't want the ball, so we won't be able to talk much about Alaves because most of the ball is going to be had by Real Madrid. But when they attacked on the wing. It was Ibai on the right and Johnny on the left. Johnny's back. When they haven't been there, they've been missed. They lost the last couple of games in different ways, but they've all been missed. Now Ibai, of course, is Athletic Bilbao, but Johnny at least is back for them.
You mentioned that the fewest number of passes in the moves leading to goals. I believe it's 2.4 passes per goal, I think. But they're also one of the teams who take most advantage of the goals they do score. 32 points they've got this season. So when Alaves get the ball in the back of the net, that goal is usually of tremendous value to them. Once again, they're looking to link there with Johnny down the left. There was no way he was going to get to that.
Plus add for that 3D analysis that we're doing of Alaves, well, they don't play football at all. The set pieces are very, very important to them as well.
Good ball for Benzema, loses his footing. Supported here by Vinicius. Turns, lays it off and combines with Ceballos. Snaps the shot, looking to curl it into the top corner. And that wasn't too far away. Karim Benzema looking sharp in the opening minutes of this clash.
It feels important. He's lost weight, but not fat, but muscle. He's lost muscle weight, and he feels the sharpest he's been in the whole of his career. He's played, I think, 36 games already this season, which is almost like a full league. And he scored 17 goals, and perhaps we've seen the best Benzema of his time at Madrid for certain.
Pacheco with a goal kick. It's it straight at Gareth Bale. The ball falling back into the control of Ruben Duarte, who sends it long. Caleri getting the better of Nacho, but Ramos is there to receive the cross. Ceballos quick to link with Modric. A chance on the break for Madrid here. Vinicius heading straight to goal. He's got Reguilon outside him. He tries to find Modric. The pass perhaps a little bit too behind him, but Modric flicks it in. And Vigaray nodding it back to Fernando Pacheco. Excellent goalkeeper, Pacheco.
It's a good school of goalkeeping in Spain, a good generation of goalkeepers. Wherever you look, there is generally a Spanish goalkeeper that tends to be of highest caliber. Who's your favourite? Spanish.
My favourite Spanish keeper, I mean, there are so many of them. Pacheco has to be right up there, no question whatsoever. Pau Lopez at Betis, I think, is the coming man.
Soria, Getafe.
Yep, Soriano, plenty of top-class keepers in Spain, and I have to give time to some of the veterans. Diego Lopez enjoying a fantastic campaign at Espanyol. It's kicking off down there, Bruno Casemiro. I know you're some way away, but it looked as though Manu Garcia and perhaps La Guardia were getting involved with Casemiro. Seems to be having a difference of opinion with Wakaso.
With Wakaso, yeah, that's it. After that challenge, there was a bit of pushing, a little bit of shoving. And he was really getting right up into his face. There was Wakaso and Casemiro, the two fiery characters, two strong midfielders, and I'm sure this will be the first of many battles that they'll have in midfield.
Now we saw a little push there on the replay in the chest of Wakaso by Casemiro. No question that the referee got the decision right to give the free kick to Real Madrid. Ramos on the ball. And it was well read by Carlos Vigaray because Vinicius was sprinting down the left flank. Ramos winning that in the air, goes down, stays down, and the ball will be put out. Manu Garcia gets to his feet. Ramos seeming to be struggling there, Bruno.
Yeah, Manu Garcia back on his feet. He didn't seem to be too hurt by that challenge, but Ramos is taking his hand almost to his rib area. We can see there from the replay how Manu Garcia gets a little bit of a forearm, if we could say there, from Sergio Ramos, but he seems to have had the wind taken out of him there, Sergio Ramos, so he's just going to take a little bit of time to get that oxygen back into his lungs. He's back in defence, running. Everything's okay for him, everything's okay for the match to continue.
Certainly seemed as Manu Garcia knew what he was doing there.
Yes, there was a clash, and you said it. I don't know how you described him earlier, the midfield of Alaves, but it's one that they won't be ashamed of going for those clashes. Wakaso, Pina as well, who's perhaps the better of the three with the ball, but the three of them really they just won't let anything through if they can avoid it.
Long ball floated forward. Manu Garcia went down. It was well battled by Caleri. Eventually the defence clear. Doesn't quite fall for Modric. Does fall for Thomas Pina. He finds Wakaso. Wakaso quick to try and set Johnny through. Johnny looks up. He's got Caleri. Just couldn't quite cut it back in time. He does win the first corner of the game. Johnny, I don't know exactly what he's gesticulating about there, because he did for a moment have an option. The ball there coming through to him off a deflection from Reguilon. Caleri had made a decent move to the edge of the 6-yard box, but it is a corner for Alaves, and anybody who remembers the game from round 8 up in Mendizorroza will remember that Manu Garcia's winner came on 94 minutes from a corner from this side, taken by Johnny. It's driven in. There's Nacho and Casemiro down. The whistle goes, and referee Jaime Latre just having words. You can see how La Guardia wrestles Casemiro to the ground there. Benzema in the centre circle gives it away. Very quick to block any possible advances there. Nacho. Odriozola back to Luka Modric. Wakaso under that, heads powerfully away. Lovely touch from Johnny. The return to Caleri, not quite where Johnny wanted it. And Ramos collecting, finds Casemiro.
Both teams know exactly what they have to do. Real Madrid has to move the ball quickly from side to side, wait for the players to go in behind and then find them, as Ramos did earlier with Vinicius. Gareth Bale needs to be seen doing that as well. The fullbacks have to go forward, but at the moment it's quite comfortable for Alaves.
Vinicius on the ball, having just won that free kick. Finds Ceballos. In turn, Casemiro to Sergio Ramos. Now Nacho. Reguilon. Ramos. Long ball through towards Bale. Bit of a hopeful one and no problem.
Behind to actually break that tight defence of Alaves.
Good ball through from Johnny from the free kick. He won the free kick after being held back by Odriozola. Odriozola had a tough time of things up in Mendizorroza against Johnny in that defeat earlier in the season. He'll be well aware of the threats the number 23 offers. Here's Vinicius. Oh, lovely ball through the legs. Looking to link with Benzema, but Pacheco getting down and smothering it. And already a couple of details of the class of Vinicius and the confidence that oozes out of his boots.
Good point, and that's exactly what Vinicius has to do. Just keep going. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come off, but it stretches the defence of Alaves.
Manu Garcia getting a touch. Caleri plays it back. Pina to Wakaso, he gives it away to Vinicius, who's very sharp to pick it up. Vinicius gets it on the right foot, hits it too close to Pacheco, who can't even think about holding it, but palms it away. The ball put in the touch for a throw-in, the best chance of the opening quarter of an hour for Real Madrid. Gareth Bale on the ball. Picks out Reguilon. Thought about shooting, instead lays it off to Vinicius. And Madrid lose out. Burgi down the line for Caleri to chase. Nacho putting the ball into touch comfortably. There's the steal from Vinicius, taking it off the toes of Wakaso, but hits it straight down the throat of Fernando Pacheco. So far so good, Bruno, from your point of view in front of the dugouts. How are the two managers responding to the first 16 minutes?
Well, they've got a very different way of watching the game. Santi Solari's almost a statue. He's very calm. His arms are folded. He doesn't seem to react too much, even when Real Madrid do have a chance. He seems to be quite cool and content with what's happening. Now Abelardo's the complete opposite. He's pushing forward, backwards, sitting down, coming back out of the dugout. And there's been a few times where Alaves have been close to going on the counter, with Johnny stealing the ball over on the left wing, and he was visibly very unhappy with the fact that it didn't quite pull off for them. But you can see that he really does wear his heart on his sleeve, and that's probably what he's looking for his team to do, catch them on the counter-attack. You can see how intense he gets, how into it he gets when they almost pull it off, and it's quite funny to see from here just how different the two characters are.
Abelardo certainly has done a brilliant job motivating this group of players at Alaves as the Ceballos combines with Benzema, quick to find Reguilon, returns to Ceballos. Reguilon once more. Very disciplined defensive order being shown by Alaves. And Madrid are going to have to be patient, I think, this evening.
Yes, but I was thinking of Vinicius. What is he now, 18, 19? So you're talking about somebody that has just appeared in the scene. But look, everybody's looking for him. Benzema has been linking with him very nicely. Sergio Ramos, when he sees Vinicius going forward, gets him the ball.
Good ball to Odriozola from Nacho. Bale losing out in the box as soon as that ball came to the Welshman. There were 4 blue and white shirts on top of him. Burgi battling for that, but losing it. The loose ball falling to Modric. Odriozola keeps it in play. Benzema in the middle. Odriozola just running out of ground really there. The loose ball coming back to Modric. Vinicius calling for it. Modric's pass to Ceballos wasn't the best. Reguilon with a shot, clipping the roof of the netting. Applause from the home fans. That's the closest Madrid have come. That and the attempt from Vinicius that was relatively comfortably saved from Pacheco. That would have been more complicated had it been just a little lower and a little further to the right.
Still offers a question mark. All of a sudden you see Reguilon on the edge of the box. You know that he can do that. So can Modric, so can Ceballos, so can Vinicius even. So they will have to shoot from outside the box. They will have to propose different things every time they attack. They need to activate the right-hand side of the attack with Odriozola and Gareth Bale, but everything else seems to be going at a right pace, high tempo, and chances should be created soon.
Casemiro on the ball for Real Madrid. Floating one in towards Vinicius. Dealt with by Vigaray. Comes back to Benzema. Casemiro. Casemiro back to Ramos. Vinicius. Inside to Dani Ceballos. Paid close attention, Ceballos, by Manu Garcia there. This is Ramos. Flicking one in towards Vinicius. Too firm, too high, throw in.
They play a sense, don't they, when another colleague is in a good form, when you know that he can do something, and they don't care if it's 18 or 19. There you are the electric one, you're the one they open up doors, ball is yours. But the electricity of Vinicius is not just with the ball. When he loses it, he activates himself immediately trying to get it back. So everything he's doing so far is good from him.
I think it's been one of the positive decisions taken by Solari since taking over from Julian Lopetegui to give Vinicius his opportunities, and he's really won his place in the starting lineup. And it is true to say that when he gets on the ball, something happens. You can feel the sense of electricity and excitement in the Bernabeu. This is Luka Modric. Finds Odriozola. It's a good first touch. The attempted cross blocked by Ruben Duarte. It'll be another corner for Real Madrid.
Just quickly, the Lopetegui era, it's been judged very harshly. A lot of the things that are happening right now, including the style, have to do with what he was planning. Just didn't have time to do it. You couldn't impose Vinicius from the beginning.
Modric's corner. Maripan gets the headed clearance. Wacasso helps it on its way. Knocked back in by Reguilon. Advantage La Guardia. Manu Garcia falls to Johnny. Does well to hold off the attentions of Ceballos. Finds Caleri. Keeps the ball in play, holding it up. Doesn't have too many options. The winter throw in for Alaves. Just seeing that control from Johnny. As I said, Abelardo delighted to have him back from injury. Good strength there from Khaledi to get the better of Casemiro. Can't find a pass through to a teammate, however. And Reguilon sensibly leaving that one. Applause from Abelardo in the technical area. After his players have enjoyed 5 or 6 passes.
Yeah, not much more than that, but good orderly defense from Real Madrid. Sometimes you forget how difficult it is for a team full of stars to actually keep that line and keep doing a lot of work without the ball.
Thomas Pina catching Ceballos there, apologising. The referee, I think, with good sense, allowing play to continue. Ceballos was quick to his feet, acknowledged the apology from Pina. Odriozola to Gareth Bale. Haven't seen too much of the Welshman so far, but he pings that one towards Vinicius, who can't quite get there. And that's applause rather than whistles from the Bernabeu towards the Welshman, I think, Bruno.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much in that from the Real Madrid fans. I do want to point out that despite wearing headphones, I can hear the Alaves fans, and I said that there's not 300 of them. There's not that many of them, to be honest, but they're making so much noise, and you can hear them inside the Bernabeu. I don't know if that says something about how laid back the Real Madrid fans are with how the match is going so far. They don't think they really need to get stuck in so far after 23 minutes, 0-0 their team on the ball. But so far in the stands, at least, it's the Alaves fans who are making themselves much more heard.
I think it says more about the passion with which Basque football followers follow the game and their team, Mr. Beganeche.
I will always agree with that, yeah, absolutely.
Nacho to Ceballos is quick to find Modric. Modric looking to link with Odriozola. It's interesting how when Madrid attack down the right, it's going to Odriozola rather than Gareth Bale in the first place.
Yeah, because Bale, a lot of the time, not now he's wide, but a lot of the time gets into the box almost like a forward. You know, and goes wide, but you know the facility for him to head the ball and how high he jumps. And as a number 9, eventually he may become that if he wanted to. He could be a really powerful finisher and a goal scorer. Right now he wants to be much more than that, and when he sees that Odriozola goes wide, he sometimes comes inside and trying to help with the build-up. But it's interesting that Lucas has been actually left home with Kroos, as you said. That would suggest that both of them are starting against Barcelona, otherwise why would you do that? And does that mean that Gareth Bale is just having a minute to start, but perhaps won't start against Barcelona?
Well, certainly, although Madrid and Soliani and all the players giving huge importance to the 3 points in play here tonight. It's good cross in from Odriozola. Benzema struggling to get there. They head clear before Pacheco could get to it. It will be a throw. Vinicius wants to take it quickly. Finds Reguilon. Vinicius again. That one miscued or misplaced from Reguilon. Thomas Pina, quick to find Burgi. Pina again under pressure from Modric, plays it back to Pacheco. Despite the importance they obviously give to catching up a little bit on Atletico Madrid in second place and Barcelona in first, reducing the gap between them. When you've got a Clásico against Barcelona coming up, when you know it's 2 games, you know it's the semi-final with a place in the final of the Copa del Rey, a competition Madrid haven't won for some years, to be played in the Benito Villamarín. It must be difficult to keep that idea out of your mind. That's the game you want to play.
Well, he's been rotating, but we shouldn't be saying that this is an inferior team or the B side or anything like that, because one of the things that Solari has done so brilliantly is to make sure that Odriozola and Reguilon and Vinicius and Ceballos feel that they're part of the team, almost like Zidane used to do, where when he started winning all the titles, there was those that were perhaps in the 11, and there was 4 or 5 that felt they could jump into the 11 anytime.
I wonder, Guillem, if you think players like Asensio feel quite as important right now as they did, for example, under Zinedine Zidane.
They don't feel as important as they thought they would be without Cristiano Ronaldo. There's no doubt about that. He's been injured, but he didn't start very well, and it is it was going to be his year as well as Gareth Bale's year. Well, let's see.
That was a tremendous piece of power play from Nacho there. He was disappointed to hear the referee's whistle. And it's probably for that handball, as he just clipped his right hand as he took the ball off Wakasa. 27 minutes on the clock, still no score. Benzema's attempt there, probably the best shot so far, although we saw Casemiro put one wide, we saw Reguilon have a go. And we saw Vinicius with a shot that actually forced a save out of Pacheco. They're the main opportunities Madrid have had to score so far. None of them what you'd call clear-cut.
No, as you said, they will have to be patient. Chances will be created, no doubt.
Wakaso is Vigaray inside to Burgi, gets the return ball. And Vigaray, I think, let that one go out. And that's the decision that's been given. But that's where Madrid have to be careful, because Alaves don't need too many opportunities from this kind of wide ball into the box. That tends to be their modus operandi as Casemiro jogs out to the halfway line.
Look for everybody. Sorry, all the Real Madrid players were almost in their own half. Then you had Vinicius very wide and Bale very wide. Benzema trying to run, but big gap between those with the ball and those attacking.
Gareth Bale on the ball. Odriozola. Nacho back to Luka Modric, dropping deep in between the two centre halves to collect. Head up, always playing with a view to the best attacking option. This time he finds Odriozola. It's a high looping cross. Bale was under it. Very nearly fell to Dani Ceballos. Vinicius couldn't get the shot off, but he's calling for it again from Luka Modric. This is Vinicius. That loping run. This time Vigaray just got the better of him, puts the ball into touch for a throw-in. And it is true, Bruno, isn't it? The fans love it whenever Vinicius has got the ball at his feet and is running towards the rival penalty area.
Yeah, you can see he's a young, exciting signing for them. It's someone that they've been looking forward to see him getting to the team little by little, and he does seem to be the player that when he gets onto the ball creates the most sort of excitement around the ground, more than Gareth Bale, more than Karim Benzema, even though he's going through that tremendous moment of form. I think more than anything it's the unpredictability of the Brazilian, also the fact that they don't know him that well, do they? It's his first season there.
That's a lovely ball from Vinicius. Reguilon's cross, the finish from Karim Benzema. It's taken just under half an hour for Real Madrid to break the deadlock, and when it came, Guillem, it was all so simple.
Yes, and it all starts with Vinicius that you were talking about. It's the 18th goal of the season for Karim Benzema, who of course is very good in what he does with the ball and how he links up, but now he appears at the right time, with the right timing, with the right run, in the right place, like here from the pass of Reguilon, finding him and opening up the defence of Alaves. But it all starts with another brave, cheeky move from Vinicius through the legs of the defender, and Reguilon in the box saw the run of Benzema, and that's 1-0 to Real Madrid.
Very interesting to see that as Reguilon latched on to that nutmeg through ball by Vinicius. Benzema was running to the far post. Gareth Bale was calling for the ball, absolutely static in the penalty area, but calling for it. And it was Benzema who made the run and finished it off. 1-0 to Real Madrid.
How often Benzema has been accused of not being aggressive enough to actually attack balls. And perhaps he felt at some point that that wasn't his role. You had Cristiano Ronaldo to do that, you had Higuain in the past to do that, you had Morata even. But he now has to do the job of those as well as his own. That's perhaps where we're seeing the best Benzema of his career.
Bruno, I don't know if you can tell us much about the response from Pitu Abelardo. He'll be bitterly disappointed that his side have conceded a goal, which looked like a made-in-Alaves kind of goal in a way.
Yeah, he was very disappointed, turned around with a visibly not happy look on his face. The complete opposite of Santi Solari, who celebrated for the first time in the whole game. He was happy with how his team were holding on 30 minutes. He thought maybe he'd get to half-time, which was probably the plan. But it's completely changed his outlook on the game now. His face has changed a little bit, and he wasn't happy at all with the way that goal was conceded.
It's a tremendous run from Vinicius. whistle goes, and the referee getting the cards out of the pocket is speaking to Victor LaGuardia right now. There's a yellow card for LaGuardia, and there was a sense there that maybe there could have been advantage played, Guillaume.
Maybe, but in any case, yet another great move from Vinicius. It's not just that he comes off, because he doesn't always come off, and actually he had absolutely no right in going and dribbling 3 or 4 defenders. But he does that, and what he gets is a free kick, he gets a yellow, and he gets the team stretched. Now, those players are just gold for a team.
Vinicius, very, very lively indeed in the opening half hour. Absolutely crucial, as Guillaume pointed out, in the build-up, the brief build-up to the Madrid goal, and now he's won this free kick, which Luka Modric prepares to take. Swings it in towards the far post, towards the head of Ramos, getting there first. The hands of Fernando Pacheco, who's quick to send it deep. Johnny taking on Odriozola, head down. Odriozola with the better of him in the sprint there, and that's a very risky back pass to Courtois, who cleared it nonchalantly, but he won't be too pleased with his right back for that back pass. Keepers don't like being put under that kind of pressure unnecessarily.
Odriozola must be one of the fastest full backs in the whole of the division. You saw there how in 10-15 minutes took 2 or 3 from Johnny, who's himself one of the fast wingers.
I was going to say, I wondered if that's a signal that maybe Johnny's not 100% coming back from the injury, because if Mendy fell off, he caused all kinds of problems for Odriozola. It's true to say Odriozola since then has gained a lot of experience playing out there, and perhaps not quite so rash in choosing his moment to push forward, especially against a counter-attacking side like Deportivo Alaves, who are up against it right now. It's Madrid 1, Alaves 0. The goal scored once again by Karim Benzema. Bale back to Nacho, plays it square to the captain, Sergio Ramos. This is Luka Modric. Lovely flick on from Benzema, didn't quite link with Vinicius. It's good strength from Dani Ceballos. Odriozola screaming through it. Here's Benzema. Still Benzema trying to get outside. Ruben Duarte, the cross comes in, and Fernando Pacheco clasping it to his chest.
If you want to see if a team is in good form, if they feel they're all playing in the same direction, they all want to be part of the team, etc., just look at them without the ball. Real Madrid, very activated when they lose it. They try to recover it quickly. They defend, not always great.
Johnny keeping that one in play. It looked as though that ball was almost destined to go out for a throw, but it just bounced along the line. Johnny very nearly took advantage of it. That's good play from Ceballos to give the ball to Modric in a bit of space. Benzema, first time back to Vinicius. Vinicius finds Casemiro, comes back to Vinicius. He tries a cheeky pass, and I think Maripan was somewhat fortunate. It struck his boot rather than him intending to do it. Wakaso holding off the Ceballos.
See the move of Modric there first, and then Ceballos, Casemiro as well, stopped the attack of Alaves. We didn't see much of that in the first 4 months of the season. But right now, everybody wants the ball back. And when they have it, there's a lot of movement in front of them, so giving the man with the ball options.
That's a good ball through for Benzema. Plays it square to Gareth Bale, but the flag was up. Bruno, in that last counter-attack by Deportivo Alaves, there was a player down off the ball. I think it might have been Jonathan Caleri, and Manu Garcia seemed to be, that clearly isn't offside as we see the repetition there. Can you fill us in on what happened, Bruno?
It was Manu Garcia who was caught off the ball, but the linesman made a suggestion to him. It's Manu Garcia still talking to him now, saying that there was nothing in it. It was just the coming together of 2 players, and it did just seem like there was no malice in it, like they just clashed. They both ran into the same direction.
Okay, yeah, Guillaume seeing the replays there. I think the linesman was a bit harsh on Real Madrid.
Yeah, he decided too quickly. I think it was a mistake, but football, life full of mistakes. You try to obviously make the least amount. That was a mistake from Odriozola as well. Look at his face too. He recognises it as well.
Yeah, the kind of grin you can afford when your keeper's got rid of the danger. Reguilón. It's Vinicius again. Puts the cross onto the penalty spot where it finds the left boot of LaGuardia, who puts the ball into touch. Leaves it for Reguilón.
Just a quick comment, Simon, about Vinicius, how you're both saying about how exciting he is and how the fans are getting behind him. The last time he got on the ball, I heard a lot of people behind me shouting, "Do solo, like, go it alone."
Yeah.
So they're all wanting him to get on the ball and do the whole run himself. They're really enjoying the way the Brazilian player is playing today.
Yeah, it's, in fact, I think a sign of his maturity mentally, that he doesn't try and do too much too often, because there is that feeling, isn't there, in the Bernabeu, that this is the man who can be really special. He can be the man who helps us to forget Cristiano Ronaldo.
In the first few games, he tried too hard. He wanted to do too many things. But now he waits for his chance, and he must have been very easy to explain to him. It's like, wait for the ball to get to you, because at the point when it gets to you, especially if you're wide, you'll have the chance to go 1v1, because who passes the ball to you is because he sees that you have that opportunity to do so. He simplifies in a way his game when he's not around the box, and when he is, he's got the permission, I'm sure, of the coach to do whatever he wants with it.
Odriozola now goes down on the edge of the box. A huge cheer from the home fans. The referee very, very well positioned, unimpressed. Wacasso going in with a firm challenge indeed on Dani Ceballos, and it seemed late, it seemed high. Modric having a word with Wacasso, Ceballos having a look at his heel, and it seems as though it's Wacasso who's come off the worst of the two.
Not sure you're going to see the replay, but if we did, you will see Modric tracking back, stopping first Wacasso, and then Ceballos tracking back and recovering the ball. When Real Madrid plays defensively like a small team, like a team that's fighting for relegation, it's very difficult to beat Madrid, because of course when they have the ball they're so good too.
Well, seeing the replay, it didn't look quite as wild a challenge from Wacasso as it had done live. Free kick and no more punishment required from referee Santiago Jaime Latre. Throw into Real Madrid. Reguilón to take it. Little back healer to Vinicius from Ceballos, who loses out and clatters into Wacasso to give a free kick to Alaves. I think that's the first time we've seen Vinicius actually run down one of those blind alleys that you mentioned from the first couple of appearances he made it for Real Madrid.
Yeah, and Wacasso's getting a lot of fouls from Real Madrid, but that's because he gets the ball at the beginning of a counter, the beginning of attack of Alaves, and he gets broken down by a foul, by two players on him, by generally good defending from Real Madrid.
The whistle goes, Casemiro down on the edge of the penalty area. I think the Alaves players will be disappointed with that one. It's an opportunity for them to cause some problems in the Madrid box. And it seems like Thomas Pina just may have caught him off the ball there as the cross was floated in.
I still felt extraordinary that most of the attacks come on the left-hand side where this 18-year-old is.
Yeah, and Gareth Bale on the right, who's hardly touched the ball. Yeah. Ramos square to Nacho into the last 5 minutes of this fascinating first half. Pina wins the loose ball. There's one for Wacasso to chase. A little bit optimistic, perhaps, to think he could have stood a chance of getting there.
A couple of whistles there. I don't know if Bruno heard them. A couple of whistles to Bale, is that right?
Bruno?
I did hear some whistling. I wouldn't be 100% confident saying who it was towards, but as you both have mentioned, Gareth Bale hasn't intervened too much, and we know what sort of patience the Santiago Bernabeu faithful do have with Gareth Bale lately.
Manu Garcia bringing down Ceballos, who's slow to get to his feet. He's received one or two firm challenges, shall we say, Bruno?
And he's been quite fortunate that he hasn't been caught full by some of those challenges. That one we saw before from Wargasol, where he got away without a yellow card or anything. He was fortunate not to catch Dani Ceballos, because I think if he'd had caught from behind the way he went in, and if he had have caught Dani Ceballos, it could have been quite a nasty one for the Andalusian midfielder, who seems to be just getting slightly away. He's just a step ahead of the Alaves player, so he's getting away with it. But some of those challenges could be nasty if he's on the ball for too long.
And Guillaume, we just saw the computer graphic of what clearly is a 4-1-4-1. You pointed it out, there's no way it's a 4-3-3 playing in the Bernabeu tonight.
And what's surprising is that they haven't changed anything since they conceded the goal, so they still feel that this is the way to contain Real Madrid, and I expect that at some point, at set piece or something like that, will create danger for Alaves, or for Real Madrid. But right now they feel that this is still the way to get something out of here. But on Gareth Bale, just quickly, I feel it's very unfair, the treatment of both the media and the fans towards Gareth Bale. There is a lot of thinking that he should be more involved, that he should be have more of the ball. Right now he's just come back from injury, number one. Number two, that's not his game anyway. Number three, if you look at the stats you're talking about in terms of the amount of games played and goals scored, he equals more or less the same goals as Cristiano Ronaldo and Karim Benzema. It's just that it seems to be, I wouldn't say a campaign, but they feel that he doesn't fully belong to Real Madrid, and I think people are reacting to that.
It's a good point as Nacho breaks away from Wakaso. Play on, says the referee, although it looks as though Thomas Pina may have pulled Nacho down. The home fans not happy with this. Throw-in's been given to Deportivo Alaves. Wakaso with the touch, Caleri going down in a heap with Sergio Ramos. It's another Alaves throw. A minute and a half to go in this first half. It would be an ideal time for Abalado's side to make a statement of intent here and try and make their way back into the game, if not the game, certainly the scoreboard. And very close to making contact, but not quite good enough from Burgi. And it's Ceballos to play the ball out for the home side. Vinicius leaves it for Karim Benzema. In turn, finds Reguilon. Crossfield ball to Odriozola, who just let it cross the line and go out for a throw-in. The linesman right on top of the action there. As you can see, the zone of influence of Vinicius Junior. Quite interesting to see that he's also working getting back to help out in defence.
Which he always did, a little bit disorganizedly and a little bit rushedly, if that's a word, but that's what he used to do. Now he also picks his moments. He doesn't need to run all the time, but when he does, he affects the game, either with a foul, as we saw with Wakaso, or of course running 1v1, opening up the defence for others to come in. He is very intelligent in what he does.
Gareth Bale got a touch there towards Odriozola. It's another Real Madrid throw in Real Madrid time right now. Alaves have to be very, very concentrated as Benzema makes a break, gets the return ball from Gareth Bale, plays it out to Vinicius. There's danger here. The cross towards the far post. Pacheco perfectly positioned to gather it as the half-time whistle goes. The players head towards the tunnel. It's 1-0 to Real Madrid. Bruno Pegareche, the players are leaving. I think, obviously, Madrid and Santiago Solari will be pleased with the first half, but perhaps some of the fans are left wanting a little bit more fireworks.
Well, just the one goal, but one is enough as things stand at the halfway mark. Real Madrid leading at home to Alaves. Just a reminder to put everything in perspective. Barcelona dropped points last night. Atletico Madrid dropped points earlier on tonight. So, Real Madrid in the driving seat.
Live